first, I hope you had a really, really good Christmas, a fab Christmas, the Christmas of your dreams. And if it was difficult for you in any way, then I'm sending lots of love, and hopefully we can all start this new year in a really positive way. I thought I would catch you up quickly on like my Christmas, talk about like new year, new start, whether I'm a resolutions girl or whether I'm not. But let's start with Christmas because yeah, I feel like I was making loads of content in the run up to Christmas, and I kind of tailed off towards the end, and then I realised because of the nature of YouTube, I can't always update in the same way as say I can do with other platforms, you know, like Instagram and places like that. So we were really on it with like the house and things. So the flooring has been all done and replaced now, and it looks fantastic. We're so grateful. Obviously, like the last year was like last half a year was really dominated by like the insurance claim and stuff and what happened. And yeah, it was really weird because we've been doing up this house for so long, and I think when we did the extension, which was difficult in itself over COVID, I think it was just such a huge deal for us, and we're so proud of this house. Like it really has come a long way. If you've followed me for the last 10 years, I'm sure there aren't many of you now, but you'll know what this house used to look like, and we've had to do it really slowly and bit by bit, and then I think to see it all go backwards, it just properly hit us. So when the flooring was done, we felt so grateful, and obviously the decorating still needs to happen, and that will be happening sometime in February. I need to get in touch with our decorator actually and double check like what dates he's got in mind and stuff, just so we can prepare, because even though it feels like January's only just begun, it's already the 9th when I'm filming this, and it's gone so quickly. So yeah, we've got the flooring back in and everything was going well, and I was thinking, right, I've got like a week now to just sort the house out and get ready for Christmas, finish off bits of work, which I had loads of work because it's a really busy time of year for me. The beginning of the year is very quiet, which is where we're at the moment, but the end of the year is manic, and I was finishing stuff off, and I thought the kids finish on Thursday, or a little to do anyway, so it has to all be done by then. I wanted to wrap presents, I wanted to like clean the house, I just wanted to get my head in the game. And I realised that I started feeling quite poorly. And I thought, oh, sod's law, like I've had my flea jab, it's not really kicked in very well. But it just got progressively worse to the point where I was really breathless. I was so tired, you know when you just drained and like your body just hurts. My eyeballs were stinging, I had a big headache, my appetite was off, I felt a bit queasy sometimes, and I just had this really strange feeling in my chest. And then one morning I woke up and I came downstairs, and I always get up first with like our family. It's just something I like to do to sort of have some time for me first thing, so I'm not bombarded with 3 kids. And I started coughing in the kitchen, and then I felt this weird scratchy feeling in my throat, and I coughed again, and I coughed up, and this is really TMI, so feel free to skip a few seconds now, but I coughed up, you know, like, so if you've got a really snotty nose and it dries in your nose and it's like crusty, it was that, but from my throat, and then that made me realise that something was definitely not right. Like I'd never done that before. So booked in with the GP, and I got seen that night, and it was a chest infection, and I ended up on 5 days of amoxicillin, and I was just wiped, and I was kind of like disappointed because I love the run up to Christmas. That last week really is one of the most exciting. I was really pushing myself, and I think that's a real thing for mums especially, that you'll push yourself through high waters. What is it? Hell and high waters, just to do stuff for your kids, won't you? And luckily enough for me, even though I had to cancel a few things like nights out and stuff with friends, or things that I had like arranged, I finished my antibiotics just before Christmas Eve, and that meant that I was feeling like loads better. That was great. I was dead grateful. So I was able to go and see my granddad then. Obviously he was diagnosed with cancer towards like the end of last year. I'm trying to get it in my head to say like last year and remember this is a new one. And he's doing really well, but obviously he's mostly comfortable at home now, and he's very, very tired, and we're not really sure what this year holds and what like his future holds right now, but I just really wanted to see him. It's really important to me, so being able to do that was really like special. I caught up with other family, we had a nice Christmas day, saw Mark's family. Afterwards, we always have Boxing Day just for us, for two reasons. One, we find that with larger families, and when you've got two families on both sides, you get caught up in everybody else's traditions, and sometimes as a mother of like younger children, and one that's obviously getting a bit older now, kids very much just would like to sit and play and have time with their parents, I find, and you don't always get that if you've got a really, really hectic Christmas time. So a couple of years back, it was kind of a post, like it happened during COVID, and we decided that Boxing Day was going to be for us to sort of relax as a family. So we have like a pajama day. We don't really do very much. There's no makeup going on or no rushing around or anything like that. And that's the first reason. I think it's really healthy for all of us just to like reset and let the kids truly play and have fun and get excited about all of these toys that they've got. And then the other reason is that obviously I co-parent with Bill's dad. So sorry by the way, because I'm still quite congested, but we'll get to that. Bill predominantly lives here with me now. Just that's kind of a thing that's come with him growing up. His dad lives about 45 minutes away, something like that, and obviously Bill's like community, his friendship group, his school, his activities, etc. are here, and it gotten to the point where as he was getting older he was like really missing that. So we worked together to kind of come up with a solution. His dad does see him every weekend, and he does like swim training with him because his dad works in like leisure, so it's a really nice way for them to sort of connect and bond, and they'll do like days out and trips out with family, but 9 times out of 10 Bill is like here now, and it's just the way that that's like progressed naturally. And when it does come to the holidays, like Bill's preference is to be Christmas Day here and then like Boxing Day there, so he always has to go off there and then go and see other family, but we need to be sort of present to do that handover, and we can't always like go elsewhere because of it, because we need to make sure that he's prioritized in that way. It's important for him to have time with that family, that side of his family. That's what we want. So it just works out quite well. And then the next day we're going to have another celebration for Mark's family because they live a little over an hour away, like towards Preston. So we saw them, we saw Mark's dad, and then we went on to Mark's mum's and had a buffet with Mark's like sister and her husband and their kids, who are so big now. It sounds like really weird saying this, but like when I met them, I think Jack was maybe Bill's age possibly, and then Sophie was probably just a little bit older than Daisy, maybe like 8 or something like that. And now they're like these, like Jack lives in London and Sophie's like training stuff for like beauty and like hair and things like that. And it was just crazy. Like every time I see them, I'm like, what the hell? So weird. It's so weird to me. But because like we've been together like 10 years almost, and it feels like no time at all, but I don't know, I feel like I could just start talking about my husband for ages now. Oh, maybe I'll talk about him in a little bit. But yeah, we saw them and it was really, really nice. But I just noticed on that day I started feeling a bit like groggy. And at first I chalked it up to indulgence, like too many Prosecco's, eating too much rich food, and I just felt a bit queasy in the car, and I started having a headache both on the way there and on the way back, and I was just quite tired. And then the next day after that we had like our annual meet up with Suzanne and Lee, so we always pick a date in between Christmas and New Year, and we always get together, the kids all play, we have drinks, I do like a food spread here, and then we always play Articulate, and we beat the men every time because they are so bad at it. Don't tell them I said that, they're awful. And me and Suzanne, I'm not even sure that me and Suzanne are that good. I think it's an easy win. We did that, and that was just amazing. And like, they mean so much to me because we met when the boys were having their taster session, starting in reception. So this was years ago now, like 8 years or something like that, nearly. And we've just been so close ever since, and the boys have been so close. The boys are they act almost like family, like brothers, and I feel like we treat them very much like we're the aunties and uncles to each other's children. And so much so that I'm like Noah's guardian should anything happen to them. So it's like a really, really meaningful relationship. I cannot tell you how much they mean to me. And having that time is, it means a lot. And like, that's what Christmas is about for me. I literally don't mind at all like how many gifts I get or anything like that. But if I can spend time with the people that I love, and I can truly stop and enjoy life without all of the coming and going of day-to-day normal life and like school and work and life admin, as they call it, all of that, like it's almost like living life the way that you wish you could do, but you just don't always, you're not able to, are you? Do you know what I mean? So seeing them was amazing. And then the next day I went like that. I completely dipped. And Mark was like, you must just be hungover. And I was like, babe, I don't know if you remember, but I really didn't drink that much last night because I've just not been feeling it. And then by the end of that, like by the afternoon, I rang the GP and I explained the situation. They were like, no, just the receptionist was like, just spoken to the doctor. They want you to come in right away. Especially given the nature of like why you were here last time. And I went back in, and lo and behold, it was my left lung that was affected the first time round. So when they listen to you breathing like with a stethoscope through your back, like my whole of my left lung was completely crackly. Not a part of it was clear. My right was a bit crackly, but not as bad. And then when I went back the second time, it was still there. And she was like, right, we're going to have to give you a second dose. So I went on to a different lot of antibiotics for 7 days. And they weren't great because they gave me like, I think it was something called doxycycline or something, I can't remember the name of it. But some of the side effects were nausea, which I definitely got, and increased pressure in the head, which results in headaches, which I definitely got. So it was one of those where like I had to kind of like feel worse to get better. And thankfully I finished them on Thursday last week, and I was still feeling quite rough over the weekend, just really tired, but I can report as of today I'm definitely feeling a lot perkier. But I guess like I had a really, really lovely Christmas time, but that just kind of really put a dampener on it for me because I was so lethargic. And like there were a couple of days just before New Year where I was wiped and I basically was in bed. I hardly moved, and like I'm a, you know, I want to get 15,000 steps a day in kind of girl. And I just, honestly, though, I think for about a week, I didn't even put my Apple Watch on, and this thing never leaves my body normally. Just because I wasn't moving and I was exhausted and I just felt so breathless. It wasn't COVID, so we didn't really know what it was. Our GP said there was something going around. And so many people have had it. And even today I was chatting to Mark before we was making a brew and we were in the kitchen, and he said he just had a call, and out of 5 people on the call, 3 of them were all like ill with chest infections and on antibiotics. So there's something going around, and I feel like it's all I'm hearing about at the moment. But I did start to turn a corner, and it was my dad's 60th on New Year's Eve. He's a New Year's Eve baby. He doesn't like a fuss, but we did do a get together for him at ours. So I watched Nigella's Christmas special that Mark had recorded for me. We watched that on Christmas Day actually when we got back home, because we were at my grandparents for the day. And I watched her make this Indonesian like biryani, and it looked amazing, and I thought, right, I'm going to make that for my dad. And we all brought a dish, and he didn't want a big party or anything like that. And because my brother and Nikki, they're actually on the way back today, that they have been on, like they did like a mini moon after they got married, and then we're waiting to be able to go again at Christmas. And I think it was like around Thailand, places like that. They moved around a little bit and like went to different bits and bobs, but they were like, the other day they were on a beach with beach pigs, like, you know, like pigs like in Moana, like that little pig, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but you know who I mean. It was like that, and then like stroking elephants. And then on New Year's Eve, on my dad's birthday, they FaceTimed us and they were ahead of us, so we saw them lighting lanterns and releasing them into the sky, because that was traditional for where they were, and it was amazing. Like I think they'll be back tomorrow, something like that. I think they're traveling now, but I think they're going to be traveling until like the early hours. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that was really lovely, really like lovely to be able to talk to them. And yeah, because they're away, my mum and dad have had their dogs for like probably about a month, I think, by the time they're back. And so mum and dad got Kenny, which is a Jack Russell puppy. They got him before Christmas too, so they went from like 2 dogs to 3 dogs to 5. So they didn't feel like they wanted to like go out anywhere or anything like that, because their dogs as well are not big fans of fireworks, so they wanted to get back. So the timing was like really nice. We just chilled, we played Articulate with them as well, because they've never played it before. We had a real laugh, and then when they were ready to go, our friends were meeting up, like who live nearby to us as well, and they were like, are you able to come? Like, definitely come afterwards. And then we messaged them like, right, what's the plan? And at first we were just going to play it by ear, because we've got loads of young children between us. I've got 3 and everybody else has got 2, so it was quite a lot of kids, and then all like 4 couples as well. But we went over there, and what was going to be like, oh, you know, maybe we'll just do it until like 10ish. We ended up staying until gone midnight. I think we got home at like 1ish, and we just had a really good time. And like bringing in the new year with like my kids and Mark and like my friends, it was just dead special. And then yeah, since then we had like, the kids were off until yesterday, because we finished quite late, so we went back a bit later. I believe some schools went in last week, weren't they? So I feel like I'm just getting back into the routine of it, because we've been poorly and then having the kids at home, I just kind of had to accept that like I wasn't going to be able to add like work and videos into the mix. To be honest, I was that unwell that like I just didn't have the energy, and I didn't do things like I normally would, like my 2023 like recap. I would normally edit a video like that, but I was just so unwell, and I'm sad about that. But sometimes you just got to do what is like right and listen to your body. And now, yeah, they're back at school. They went in really happy, and I think it's going to be good for all of us, because it's lovely, but I think we do need routine in some elements of life, even though sometimes it just feels like it's a little bit too busy. So yeah, they're back at school, I'm back on it. And when it comes to like 2024, I've never truly been a resolutions kind of girl. I do like a new year, because I think it's always quite refreshing to have after such an indulgent time over Christmas. And generally that kind of reset does me good. You know, like we took the Christmas decorations down. We only took them down, on Thursday last week, which is quite late for us, because normally I do it before New Year, because I just get a bit sick of them. But this year, a combination of just being unwell and then like just enjoying them, we left them up until then. And I've actually still got Christmas lights on outside the house, and I probably should take them down because nobody else has got them up anymore. But I don't know about you, but when it's dark, sometimes seeing those twinkly lights still makes me happy. So I've just left them up a little bit longer, just to make people happy at night when they're driving home or driving past. Is that sad? Because it's the truth. But yeah, like I'm ready for a fresh start. I think January for me, it's like when I turn another year older as well. My birthday's on the 25th, so it's always like reflective because of that, because you always do think a bit more about life when you turn another year older. At least I do anyway. And then obviously a couple of years ago, I started my antidepressants in January, so that was a really big moment for me, and very emotional. And obviously I kept that private for a year, and then shared it this time last year, and opened up about the fact that it had been my year anniversary and I'd just taken that time and stuff. And so for me now, as someone that's like weaned off her antidepressant, starting a new year without them, I'm very grateful for it. I know that my journey's not over. I know I'm not like healed or cured or fixed, and there was nothing wrong with me anyway. I just needed additional help and support. But now I'm at a point in my life where I'm starting a new year and I'm feeling okay. That's really, really quite a poignant thing for me. And I'm aware that that sounds a bit like doolally and deep and stuff, but I can't explain how meaningful that is as somebody that's been through all of that. So yeah, for me, I really want to keep growing and getting stronger and just living life without so much fear. I think I got into a state for a long time because of, you know, anxiety and depression and just generally like heightened sadness, and just being, I was very fearful online. Like the atmosphere online isn't always the kindest, and I just felt so worried about being myself. I felt like I'd overthought everything. Like every decision I made, I would have filmed videos and I would never put them live because I just felt like I was overthinking it and I didn't want to put them live anymore. Particularly on YouTube, because I think you're more vulnerable on YouTube because the opportunity to talk for longer is there, and you kind of share a little bit more over here because it's long form. But I don't know, I really lost my way, and I don't want to give up on myself. I don't want to give up on, quite honestly, a career that really works for our family and enables me to be here. Because even yesterday, when the kids were at school, I got a phone call, and the kids had after school clubs, and it was a phone call, and I panicked because it was just after normal school pickup, and I was thinking, I know the kids have got after school clubs, so please tell me that I've not like misjudged this and they're waiting for me. But it turns out Daisy had, she has a hearing aid case with spare batteries and a thing to open them with and stuff and to keep them safe in. She'd taken it out of a bag, I put it in, she'd taken it out and left it by accident. I wasn't aware of that. And her hearing aids have run out of batteries. So even though I was going to go and get them in about half an hour or so anyway, I went to school and I ended up doing some editing in my car instead in the car park and just waited because she needed them. And those little things, they're still very much part of being a mum. And even though my children are at school, like I'm very much needed to be able to facilitate their day-to-day schedules, like take them to school, pick them up from school. Like we've had illnesses before Christmas and stuff, and if I worked in the way that I used to, that would be really problematic for us because we don't have anyone else that could do that now. You know, I've got like family around me, but my grandparents are obviously like one side of my granddad's really old and like not very well now, and they're in their like 86 now, and then my grandma and gramps turn 80, I think it's this year, I think so. And yeah, it's very soon because their insurance, it might be next year, their insurance goes up for travelling, and they were telling me about it. So they're trying to travel as much as they can this year before they turn 80, so they can enjoy it before it gets extortionate to be able to go abroad, which is so sweet but also so sad at the same time. And my mum is often looking after like my brother's dogs and stuff during the day, and then she'd have like 5 dogs during the day anyway, and I can't just ask her then to have kids. So like this job means a lot to me, and I enjoy it so much. I love editing, I love working with brands and creating content. I love being able to do, you know, giveaways, like on Instagram, I gave away like tickets for Alton Towers and to watch a Home Alone screening with like an orchestra playing before Christmas, and like things like that are just amazing. And I love being able to have connections and create like recipes and food things. Like a couple of my videos went viral over on Instagram and TikTok before Christmas, and that was the most amazing feeling. And I'm so fortunate, and I don't want to like shy away from it because of like the opinions of others, and I don't really talk about that on here so much because it isn't it isn't the be all and end all, and I don't want to bring that negativity into my life further. But it really got me at one point, and I was so afraid, and I feel like now I'm starting a year where I feel stronger and I'm not tolerating it anymore. And there's a phrase that often goes around in various circles, and it's like, read the room. And this part of the internet is my room, and if you don't like it, then you can leave. Do you know what I mean? It's so easy to do that, and I think that that is the point where I'm at. Like, I'm not perfect. I don't owe anyone perfection. I don't owe anyone relatability, but I owe people authenticity, which is what I get. I can't be like relatable to everyone anyway. It's absolutely impossible. I want to be stronger. I want to practice what I preach, and I want to really try and enjoy myself this year. I want to keep fit. I started up the gym again after having a break when I came off my antidepressants anyway. So I started back up in October. So starting a new year already with a routine, even despite being really poorly. I'm really proud of myself. Like, I've already been back and done like body pump classes. I've been to the gym. I was at the gym yesterday, and it's a really good feeling, and I really hope that this year I can continue with that and start to feel like the version of myself that I recognise, because she's been through a lot and I'm really ready to have a year of like growth and hopefully just some peace and happiness. I'm sure life will always give me ups and downs, as it will for everybody, but I'm just really, really hopeful that I can keep doing a good job and thriving. And like, yeah, I'm going to be quite honest, I'd like to lose a bit of weight that I gained over the past couple of years. I don't hate myself for that. I don't blame myself for that. I'm not going to walk around and say that I'm horrible or ugly or disgusting, but I would like to get my confidence back, and my fitness and health is really important to me now, especially after the last like few weeks of being breathless, which is still, you can hear it a little bit when I'm talking. I don't like that feeling, and I want to be bouncing around like a puppy again and not feeling like an old dog who just wants to sleep. Other plans, it would be really, really nice to go on holiday this year, like abroad. I would love to see some sunshine. We didn't do that last year. We booked Centre Parks instead. Like a lot of like my money last year went on the, sorry, my socks come off, it's really annoying me, you know those trainer socks and they like slip off. I budgeted for the hen do abroad, which was like really luxurious, and then we obviously had what was going on with the house happen, so we did Centre Parks, which worked out cheaper for us because we have 2 weeks holiday at WIT, you know, the half term before the summer, which was always really handy because a lot of schools don't have that, so the second week was so much cheaper. However, Bill's high school doesn't do that now, so we won't be able to afford Centre Parks in the same way that we did before. And then we did do Wales though, didn't we? So I feel like it'd be really nice to go to Wales again, because we really enjoy like a little staycation. We really like traveling around the UK. There's some really gorgeous spots, and I think that sometimes that's really overlooked. Like, you can have such an amazing holiday here. I just like a little bit of sun. So hopefully that can happen and we can go. We might just book somewhere last minute and see how it goes. And yeah, that is definitely a goal of mine. That would be fantastic. So I think I'd like to stay healthy and positive. I'd like to keep growing like stronger mentally and physically. I'd like to lose a little bit of weight, not tons by any means. Like, even like honestly, I'd lose a stone and I'd be well happy. Just take that edge off of like feeling a little bit self-conscious. I've already lost a bit in the past like 6 months, but I would like to lose a little bit more. And I know that that might be disappointing some of you with like body positivity, but I can only be realistic of like how I feel, and I think it would be good for me health-wise, and yeah, I would just like to make the most of every moment and hopefully not be poorly again for a while, because I don't want any of that. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to my birthday. I'm lucky that I've got a January birthday in some respects, because while not everybody's down to do stuff, Mark is always so amazing at planning things and always makes such an effort, and he's always made me feel so special during my birthday, and I am really excited for that, like to spend some time with him, which is what we normally do. Like when the kids go to school, he'll book the day off to be with me and we'll go off and have a little adventure between 9 and 3, and it's lovely. And we're going to go see Hamilton. We got tickets for Hamilton off my parents for, was it our Christmas present last year or a birthday present? I can't quite remember because it was from like last year. Not last year, just gone, the year before, do you know what I mean? Like 2022. So I'm really excited because we've been counting down to that like we were for Peter Kay. So that is in Feb. Daisy's doing Young Voices, which is really exciting because we'll get to go and watch her in February as well. And then it'll start with all the birthdays. Stan's in March, Daisy's April, Bill's June, and it'll just fly, won't it? So let that be a reminder to us all to just appreciate what we've got. But I am going to wrap this up and love you and leave you. I think me and Mark have got a dog walking date because it's just turned 12 o'clock, so we're going to go and do that, get some fresh air and some steps in over our lunch break, and then come back and do some more work, and then before I know it I'll be picking the kids up, and it goes so quickly, doesn't it, when they're at school. But have a lovely rest of your day. I hope you're all doing really well. If you've got any video suggestions or ideas of what you'd like to see from me, from vlogs to like makeup, skincare, what I'm wearing, what I'm eating, anything, let me know. And yeah, I find that really useful. It'll be like market research. But yeah, have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll hopefully see you all very, very soon.